next guest is Scar, also known as Scar the Skelly, who has helped me out with some Japanese translation and has generally just been a major supporter of mine for quite some time. This one was recorded right before Christmas, so there are some outdated things we talked about, like not knowing when Shimizu's return would be, but generally things stayed pretty current. How are you doing, Scar?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Nice Dragongate show today.
Yeah, we're recording this right after the KBS Hall year-end show. I thought that was a really solid show. I enjoyed that a lot. They've had a month of really solid shows. One thing I like to start off with, though, is what are you listening to lately?
Yeah, good question. So I just finished writing up and published my top K-pop releases of 2025. So I was listening to a lot of K-pop that I had missed throughout the year. That's sort of my secondary interest outside of pro wrestling, sort of like my secondary special interest. And I've also been listening to a lot of Tyler, the Creator. He's made a big splash on my interests. A little bit of Kendrick Lamar, a couple of Japanese artists, Fujikaze. Just listened to the newest The Rampage from Exile Tribe song that all the wrestlers are going to be in the music video for.
Oh, yeah.
Like Shun and Dragongate. So I was like, I feel like I should listen to it.
It is really funny to see Shun advertising that on his social media.
Yeah. It is very funny because I know that as a character he would have beef with Kaisei Takechi. I just know it. Yeah. I just know they would like each other.
Yeah, what is the release for that?
Yeah, I don't know when the music video is coming out. I assume soon because like the song is out on like YouTube and stuff. But yeah, I don't know when the music video is going to be coming out.
Yeah, so I wanted to keep this pretty freeform, like hang out and talk about Dragongate, but I do have like a couple questions I wanted to ask you. So you're in Australia. What part of Australia are you in?
I'm in Queensland.
Okay.
So I'm on the east coast. Where everyone else is.
What is the indie scene like around your area?
Not really. It's getting a little bit better. I know that there is a local independent promotion that holds semi-regular wrestling shows actually in where I live. The only places that really get a lot of shows to my knowledge are the capital, Brisbane, which I live about an hour and a half away from. I think the coast, the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast get some shows, and maybe further up north, but where I live, yeah, it's quiet and understated. There's a reason why wrestlers from my state like Mark Davis and Tony Storm don't work here anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because, yeah, the scene just doesn't really exist, especially here.
Yeah, entirely fair. Kind of a two-part question here. What is your history with watching wrestling, and what's your history with Dragongate specifically?
So, back in ye olden days of, I think it was about 2013, for those uninitiated, I was like 9 or something. Sorry if I've made anyone feel horribly old by saying that, but my older sister introduced me to WWE, introduced me to wrestling in general. My first WrestleMania was 30,
okay,
which is a great one to get started on. And yeah, I was super into it. We used to watch it like weekly, and I got particularly interested in it, which is not a surprise because my family, we both were, and still are, super big sports fans as well as like arts fans. So we sort of toe the line between, watching a lot of sport, but also caring a lot about the arts and being very artistic people. So I think wrestling sort of hit a really good sweet spot for me, being like, oh, it's like a musical or a play, but it's also a sport where they punch each other. That's fun. So, little me. So yeah, I was into WWE until about 2019, 2018, I'd say. Definitely, I wasn't watching into the pandemic, so that's sort of when I know that I cut off watching. But as I got older and as I got to be a bit more tech savvy, I was able to figure out, hang on a second, there's not just wrestling out there than WWE, there's actually other wrestling that happens in America. So I got super into like PWG and ROH, and then eventually, of course, AEW came around. But before AEW, I did get into New Japan, and I sort of followed the Elite over from New Japan to AEW, because they were the ones that got me into New Japan. I found being the elite and was like, oh my god, this is so great. They have like a YouTube channel and shit. And then I was like, oh, there's a promotion over in Japan. That's super cool. And then eventually I sort of got solely into New Japan for a while, sort of went back and forwards between New Japan and AEW. So to sort of expand my view past New Japan, I got into DDT, thanks to Konosuke Takeshita.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, one day, I think in about 2023, I want to say, early 2023, I saw a message from one of my friends on Discord, whose name is Jay. Not that one, the other one. Not the Jay that all the Dragongate fans know, another Jay.
Yes.
And they were like, oh my god, there's this amazing video about this wrestler that I really like by this person by the name of Guts Dozer.
Oh, well, so I was actually your entry point.
Yes, you were. Your
Wow,
Shun
okay.
Skywalker and Masquerade video was... Because I watched it and was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then I was down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, because at the time I remember, I mean, they had done really good storylines before, but I saw a couple people covering it, and it was just kind of that presentation where people talk at a camera, which I didn't want my content to be. You know, I was in quarantine, so I was like, you know, this is an amazing story, and I want people to know about it. So I put that together, and then it kind of blew up from there. But yeah, I'm always quite humbled whenever someone tells me that was their starting point. But I've had people in the company thank me for it, so I'm always kind of a little surprised at my reach. But yeah, so how far back have you gone now?
I've done some exploration into Toromon, watched a few different Toromon shows as they've sort of popped up and as I've gotten interested in them. If I think that they have some sort of level of significance to me, or at least to the significance of maybe Dragongate's history. Like sometimes it'll be like, Susumu Yokosuka will post a tweet being like, oh, this is the Toromon episode where we all beat up Mochizuki. And I'm like, oh yeah, I want to watch that. And also I do like to go back and watch, wrestling from 2004, which was when I was born, and sort of be like, wow, look at all these people. Little babies when I was a little baby. So yeah, it is. And I have gone back a little bit further and sort of I've gone through some of like the major shows, like when they sort of collate all the final gates or all the Dead or Alive, sort of around when those come up and sort of go back and watch some of the really important ones. And if I've just like heard something about a show in general being like, oh, this is the show where XYZ, I mean, I've gone back and watched all the shows basically from the Jason Lee saga that I like to call it that, when Jason was being fought over by everyone.
That was a really interesting time, which just makes his heel turn so much more heartbreaking.
Yes.
And now interesting with like the extra layer on there of, he never liked Shun anyway, but he was a means to an end, clearly. And now he's carrying skulls around.
Now he's an edgelord.
Who among us? we all have an edgelord streak, don't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, so how are you feeling about 2025 in Dragongate overall?
I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's definitely been a really interesting year in terms of some of the booking decisions. In 2024, I said pretty firmly that Dragongate was like my favourite promotion of the year. Now, I think with 2025, it's a little bit of a closer race between Dragongate and DDT for me personally. But that's not necessarily saying that Dragongate has been particularly bad. It might just be that DDT has been particularly good for me and that I particularly enjoyed what they've been doing. But yeah, there are some elements where they've sort of confused me a little bit with some of their decisions and non-decisions, but also understanding from some points of view where certain booking decisions have come from, but at the same time sort of being a little bit like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think now, as of now, it seems like D-Courage has been eliminated from the Dragongate League, right?
Yes.
So I was thinking with that main event on the show we just watched that Love and Peace was going to take it. I didn't think they were going to go to a draw, but now that it does make sense because they tie Natural Lives. So I do understand that now, but I didn't think D-Courage was going to win because Ryoya is hurt and he's already a champion, so I don't think they want to make him pull double duty.
No.
Especially since shoulder injuries are tricky, and we're seeing that with Homare right now. So Homare doesn't seem too bad because he is around still.
Yeah.
Usually if somebody is injured, they just have them out
they disappear.
entirely. Yeah.
It's like, where have they gone?
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. And then I am really enjoying the Shun Cielo tag team right now.
Yes.
It seems to be pretty common knowledge who Cielo is, but they're not saying it, of course.
Yes.
And I don't like to dwell on it because I know they're not highlighting it, but we know. It's pretty obvious.
We're not stupid.
Yeah. But I love that for him, and I'm glad that he was able to find something. But I did have a discussion with someone recently about, what if that is just his character now, and they're not actually going towards an unmasking? Because everyone's expecting them to build to that, and now I think actually the most interesting way to play this might actually be to not do that, because everyone's expecting it. It's also kind of a question of how much do people actually remember him? Because Tiana Evolucion just kind of showed up for a month and a half, I want to say, and then we kept track of him because we're super fans, but as far as the local fan or the regional fan or just anyone tuning in internationally, they might just be like, who? I don't remember this guy. So it might even it might serve him well to maintain the mystery and just be a guy.
Although I definitely see them going towards maybe not unmasking him, but maybe making it sort of similar to the situation with Dragon Dire and Dire Inferno, when Dire was like, that's usually your... and Shun was like, no, don't say it. Where like maybe Kato or someone else who was in his sort of class is like, that's TN Revolution, and everyone's like, no.
No, I can see them doing that.
Yeah.
Especially since they made it a point on the Korakin show to not have him talk and have Shun talk for him.
Yes.
It does seem like they are planting seeds for someone in the roster maybe recognizing him, which I think is a really interesting idea. A presentation I haven't really seen before. So I always feel like everyone I talk to has some sort of specific attachment to at least one of the rookies. So who's your guy?
Who is my guy? I mean, I have a big soft spot for Homare because he's the same age as me. And I don't know of too many, at least male wrestlers. I know that there's a lot of like Stardom wrestlers who were 2004, but there's not as many male wrestlers that I know of that are 2004. It's a weird year, apparently. But yeah, I've definitely grown quite attached to him. I quite like Kazuma Kimura has already done wonders for me personally. I think he's quite great, and I can't wait to see what he gets up to. Definitely with how they've treated him quite early in his career, I think they have plans for him, hopefully.
I do wonder if they will eventually put him in Paradox anyway, because he was saying he wasn't ready, but they might circle back to that. There hasn't been any like extra insistence from Yamato or anything like that, but I am surprised at just how fresh Jiro Shibashi keeps his act.
Yes. No.
I really love this gimmick.
Yeah. No, I'm all for it. He's definitely shown himself to be quite capable and quite great in the position that he's been given. Really interested to see what happens with him.
It's just so cool to see how much the veterans are having fun with him.
Yeah, I think they all missed Ichikawa. So getting to bully,
who doesn't?
getting to bully another small guy, like yay.
Well, I mean, the Doi match tonight, I knew he was going to have fun with that, because Doi is, above all else, a dick.
Yeah,
So,
and he's and just like Kazuchika Okada, Naruki Doi is a comedy wrestler in a non-comedic wrestler body. Like
yes, yeah.
he's had to be serious, but you can tell how much he loves doing comedy spots and how much he loves riffing off GM Saito and all that stuff.
Oh, I loved Okada's balloon run.
Yes. Who doesn't like Balloon Okada?
I'm also just really kind of sitting by and watching very intently to see how or where the ex Mochizuki Dojo kids land.
Yes.
And Fuda got a win tonight, and
He did.
that's pretty big. And he's been getting wins lately, so
Yes,
really interesting. It seems like they're finally behind him, which is about time.
Yeah, and it's good to see that they've sort of sustained his I guess it is a push past even him losing the Bravegate title match. I was worried that once he lost that, I was like, oh no, is he going to be tossed into the Shadow Realm again? But no, it seems like they've continued to like sort of rally behind him, and even I mean Yanaguchi still loses a lot, but I can still just tell that they do value him quite a lot too.
Well, he's got
So,
that
yeah.
underdog energy, so
Yes.
it's kind of one of those things where you can keep building up to his wins, and then it's really satisfying when it actually happens.
Yes.
I keep wanting to see Champagne Daiki from Prime Zone on the regular mainstream program, though.
The host first.
Bring in the Daiki dance at least.
Yep. Now that I think about it, because I was thinking a lot lately about where some of the unaffiliated roster members could go unit-wise, and I was really unsure about Natural Vibes. Natural Vibes and Dick Courage are the two units that I'm like the most confused about what their future is going to be.
Yeah.
Like if they're going to continue to exist for much longer.
Yeah, Jay was just talking about that tonight on Blue Sky, actually. Yeah.
Yes, I saw that. And yeah, I feel like Host Daiki could be a great member for Natural Vibes.
Yeah.
Specifically, Host Daiki.
I could see him in Love and Peace, but yeah, Natural Vibes would also be great. I mean, because that's a character that would have fit into Gold Class's original intent that they got away from really quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can put him in either of the fun-loving party boy units now. I am curious because Gajadokuro doesn't have a Bravegate contender right now. Who will turn heel? And it could be a rookie.
Fuda.
It could be a rookie, or it could be someone else. Fuda does seem correct.
Yes. I keep eyeballing Fuda. I'm like, I think at some point you're just gonna snap.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking, I just am not convinced that Minnow Lee and Team 205 kilograms are going to both stay in Gajadokuro. I think it's more likely that Minnow Lee will stay and Ishin and Kato will be kicked out because they are simply too well liked.
Yeah.
They are too sort of goofy and unserious and lovable for what Kikuta wants for the group. And I think it would be really likely that they get kicked out by Fuda and by the rest of Gajadokuro.
That's interesting. I think the other alternative for Fuda would be Saipatra because he is sort of a misfit in terms of...
he's the other one.
Like in terms of how he was the rookie who, by all rights, should have been somewhere by now and isn't. So, so I can see that happening. But yeah, I can see him snapping. And the other one in Gajadokuro, I think, is about due, and maybe even overdue, is Kai, just because he has been heel since RED.
He's been there for so long. It's like, are you going to join Paradox soon?
Yeah, right.
Or...
And he wouldn't have to change anything about himself if he joined Paradox either.
No. It's like, just hang out with all the old men. What are you still doing here? It's okay. You can go hang out with your ex Yamato and your ex BB Hulk and everyone else. Yeah, or your exes.
Yeah. Oh god, we're just rehashing Tribe Vanguard at this point, aren't we?
Yes.
Did they ever send? I don't remember the last time I heard about it, but when was the last time they sent anyone from Dragongate to an Australian promotion?
Good question. The last time I've heard of anyone coming down here was Dragon Kit.
Okay.
He was in Perth not that long ago,
Mm-hmm.
in Western Australia.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that is across the country. So I could not go see him wrestle Loki of all people.
Oh, I remember
He
hearing
was
about that.
wrestling Loki. He was wrestling Loki in a singles match in Perth, Western Australia. Is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
That's
I
just
hope it was a good
that
match.
is wild.
It sounds like it would have been a good match.
Yeah.
But yeah, and apparently, yeah, he really enjoyed it. So hopefully, might get some more Dragon Gate guys down here in the future. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, if there's a market for it.
Hopefully, closer to me.
Yeah. So you have worked on some pretty lengthy videos about wrestling promotions that you're into, and I'll link your
Yes.
Dragon Gate one in the description here. But so is that just do you do that in PowerPoint or what?
Yep, that is just me recording straight onto a PowerPoint presentation. I'm not at all skilled in video making at all. I'd made like slides already ages ago, like a couple of years ago now. And I just uploaded all the slides to my Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided sort of this year, I was like, okay, I should actually like record my voice over them to make them like more accessible and just in general like easier to digest.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now I'm sort of at a point where I'm like, I don't really want to work on them again, but maybe in the next year, in 2026, I might update them and I might record them with a better setup, like with an actual microphone, because I'm literally just talking into my laptop in a closet in my bedroom. It's a really professional setup.
Mm-hmm.
I have always enjoyed making little PowerPoint presentations about wrestlers that I like and promotions that I liked. So I was like, why not make, sort of take the next step and sort of actually record them and upload them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I appreciate anybody else who makes YouTube content about Dragon Gate because I'm pretty much it as far as someone who's like exclusively dedicated to it. It's a lot of pressure to try to just like be the Dragon Gate person, and so yeah, anything else that is a deeper resource because you get really in depth. You get like like. For anybody listening to this, it's like if you've seen, my short, concise bullet points playlists, if you want to get, deeper into it, yeah, go watch Scar's videos. Those are, you get very in depth. You get, you cover quite a bit more than I do in terms of, detail and like who everyone is. The problem that I ran into pretty early on with my content was just how outdated it gets quickly. But yes. Yeah, as an overview, it's really well done and like it's just a very good presentation. It's almost like TED Talk kind of in presentation. But yeah, I will link that. I'm trying to think of when I actually made this changeover. I think it was like the beginning of last year. No, maybe end of last year. But yeah, I went from sorting people by unit to sorting them by debut year just because it would happen so often that I would need to redo my videos like once a month, and then it would be like I would not only have to change the video of the unit they came from, but also the video that they went to, so I'd be making like 4 new ones a month. And now with changing it to debut year, I have just if somebody drastically changes their aesthetic, then I will change it, but otherwise, debut years aren't going to be changing.
No.
Yeah, so there are, little tricks you learn along the way when you're making this kind of content of like how to be vague about certain people, just so you don't have to update all the time and it doesn't immediately outdate your content.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I was doing the Dragon Gate one, and I started doing it. So I'm a full-time university student, so that's sort of what I do when I have nothing better to do is I toil away on stuff like that. And, I was recording it. And I think either I had just finished doing all the slides or I was just starting to do all the recording. And then Shonen Homare got kicked out of Z-Brats, and I was like,
Yeah.
and like they hadn't like made an announcement about Saipatra yet or anything. Like they were just not in Z-Brats
Yeah.
anymore. So I was like, what do I do with them? Like
Yeah.
they don't have a new unit.
Yeah, that's what happened with the podcast with Eden and I, was because we wanted to record, but then it was like Gajadokuro didn't have a name yet, and
Yes.
Shonen Homare were just kind of like a tag team that were just on the fringes, and we were like, I want to do, like, I want to record,
Yep.
but I don't know what this is even going to be yet. So fortunately, they ended
Yep.
up happening right around the same time where they started dropping the name Saipatra,
Yeah.
even though it wasn't official yet. And I'm really glad that I made the mention in our last round that Gianni Valletta was not necessarily part of Gashidokuro yet.
Yes.
But yeah, there were times when I was doing the unit-based videos, and I would just finish a new round of them, and then a Koraken would happen, and everything changed, and I would need to change like 3 or 4 videos again. And I just feel like I can't keep doing this. I can't keep up with it. Definitely, like, if you want to make more rounds of this, keep it vague, because it'll come back and bite you.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed your presentations, and you did one for DDT too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my two main promotions. So
Is that pretty much all you're watching now?
pretty much, yeah, that's all that I've decided to go with for now. I was watching All Japan for a period, about maybe 6 months. I just sort of gotten into them, and then they started to make some decisions that I wasn't crazy about, and it really turned me off the promotion. And then Taishin Nagano passed away, and
Yeah.
that really devastated me. So I just did not feel like I could return to the promotion.
Yeah. That was horrible.
I haven't watched the Korokan where they do what they did for him yet, because yeah, I just do not think that I could sit through it right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've sort of been away from All Japan a little bit, but I think I'll watch when Ishin and Kato challenge for the tag titles over there. I'll watch that show.
Yeah, that's right. And did you watch the Doi Produce show?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that's sort of like the first bit of All Japan I've watched since Taishin passed away, basically.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And
Yeah, no, that show was great.
and it was basically just Doi trolling the entire time with all his booking,
Yes.
as he does.
Yeah.
I have been, usually if I want to dip into something else, my first instinct is to dip into Joshi, so I watch a little bit of Stardom. Usually just the big events, though, just because I don't really have the time right now to follow a bunch of stuff. Like, about a year or two ago, I had a bit more free time and wasn't working on like 6 or 7 projects at once. I don't know why I'm like this, but I just keep adding new stuff onto the pile. And but I was following Stardom pretty regularly, and then I think right around actually the Marigold split, where I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch everything, and then just kind of ended up burning out on everything. And then I've said this multiple times on multiple media, but if I'm not watching Dragongate, I'm not watching any wrestling, and I typically. If I don't have time, or if I get burned out on everything, I will still watch Dragon Gate and I will still follow it. I genuinely feel like it is miles above anything else I watch.
Earlier, I was, juggling quite a few promotions at once, and as nice as that is, I think it might have burnt me out a little bit. Like I think I was watching New Japan, DDT, and Dragon Gate all at once, and I think I might have added All Japan in there as well. So I was watching like 4 promotions at once, and like trying to watch everything, because I sort of can with my time zone. And then at some point my body was like, no, stop it. But I do follow a lot of other promotions, like sort of casually. Like I watch Tokyo Joshi when I feel like it. I watch Pro Wrestling Noah when I feel like it. I still try to watch New Japan sometimes. I don't have any way to really watch Stardom, so I just sort of watch from the sidelines, like, oh, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Um,
But yeah.
yeah, I will dip into Noah usually for an ex-Dragongate guy. Like, I'll watch Eita matches, and
Yes.
yeah, Mochi shows up every once in a while, but I'll watch, like, Kondo, and
Yes.
I mean, that's usually my exposure to All Japan as well, is, like, when Doi is there, and Takashi's doing great there right now.
Yes.
And then like you said, Ishin and Kato are showing up there soon. So, I'll dip in for that. I definitely lost sight of New Japan for quite some time, but every time I dip back in, I'm just kind of like, I know someone is doing this better.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are people there that I just don't feel attached to whatsoever, that they're pushing pretty hard. And I'm always kind of
Yeah.
like, you have Shingo, he's right there.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I've been expressing my frustrations about that on Twitter in particular, because they announced that a certain
Like, I know he's getting older, but
New Zealand wrestler is returning.
but he's still got it, and
Yeah.
he's still amazing, and he only got that one pandemic run with the titles.
Yes.
And then otherwise, I know indies here because I work in them. A lot of that is just like, I don't even really go to a lot of shows. I just kind of absorb or just watch a few local ones when I can. But then otherwise, it's kind of like, when you do something for a living, it's like less interesting to just watch casually.
Yep.
Like, I try to keep up with some of the West Coast indies too. I generally follow what AEW is up to. Like, I absorb information through social media, but
Yes.
there's too much content for me to keep up with regularly. That's really
Yeah.
what stopped me from watching pretty much all North American wrestling, is just like, there's so much of it and I don't have the time.
Yeah. It is a little bit funny with AEW, because I actually I think at one point I was like, during the pandemic, I was only watching AEW. I stopped watching New Japan altogether and only really watched AEW because it was, super easy to like get into with AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation. Being on YouTube, I could just watch it whenever. But yeah, I think the most AEW that I've watched this year was literally going to an AEW show live, because they came to Brisbane this year. So yeah, that's like the most AEW that I have watched is when I watched it live. But yeah, I do, because they're on TV down here. I do sometimes turn on Collision or Dynamite and see what they've been up to. And I keep up to date with it because my sister's into it. So.
Yeah, generally, if I watch it at all, it'll usually be a pay-per-view match. I definitely dip into to watch some of what Pac is doing, because he's one of my all-time favorites. And now, really cool seeing Ricochet there too. All these alumni. I always think, oh, someday I'll just go back and catch up, and you really can't. There's so much. You have to just dip in and then kind of like absorb what happened and what you missed. So, especially with all these crossovers, because now you have to kind of follow a little bit of New Japan, you have to follow a little bit of CMLL, you have to follow Rev Pro, and it's just like, okay, like I can't, unless I make it my entire life and watch it 24/7, I'm never gonna keep up.
Yeah.
Because that was actually what kind of burned me out. Like, I took a little hiatus from my channel, if you remember, towards the end of last year. That was for health reasons. I had I had a neck injury at the time, but a lot of that was also just, I needed time to get into other hobbies of mine and other interests of mine, because wrestling was just kind of like my hobby and my job and my online content, and it was just like I was trying to follow everything and watch everything, and it was burning me out. And I was like, I am gonna hate wrestling if I keep going at this pace, and I don't want to hate it. And I would still keep up with Dragon Gate, but otherwise I just dropped pretty much everything else I was watching. Now I just dip in kind of casually. But for a while there, it was like anytime I would watch anything else, I'd almost get sort of, not an anxiety about it, but just sort of like, it was almost like a trauma response, where I'd just be like, this was the thing that burned me out. Do I want to get back into it? It was a long time before I wanted to watch anything else. And then, especially once I was able to get monetized, I wanted to, make sure that I gave back to people a little more when I decided to do my disbanded series, and then that's been really well received so far too. So that's a lot of research though. I mean, you want to talk about going back and delving deep. That's
Yeah.
there's stuff I don't even remember watching the first time, and I'm like, oh right, okay, that happened. So yeah, is there anything else that you want to address about the current state of Dragongate?
I don't know what Louis Monte is up
Yeah,
to. The great adventure of Louis Monte. Um,
yeah.
I have there's something deep in my heart that wants him to go to Decourage.
A lot of people have said that because
Because
he
chaos.
has teamed with them a lot.
Yes.
It's definitely, I think they would fit his vibe, especially if he got like the Decourage style, the gear that they've been using.
Yes. He needs to get the gear. Yeah, he can't stay darker. He needs to sort of lean towards brighter colors if he wants to be in Decourage.
I mean, also just because like Decourage gear is crazy good.
Yes.
Like their entrance gear as a trio is amazing right now. No, the other thing I keep wanting is to see him reconcile with Shun and join Saipatra. Like, okay, fine, I'll go back to my ex.
Yeah, yeah, it's a situation of like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about Monte going back to Shun, especially like if they were to stay, like if Shun was to stay like how he is right now.
Hmm.
Because like if Monte was to rejoin up with Shun, I'd be like, oh, that's like some serious like character deprogression for
Hmm.
Monte.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it would feel as like good if he was just returning to bad friend Shun and not who has sort of had to go, okay, maybe I was a bad person. But yeah, I would
Oh,
totally
Shun admitting that? No,
yeah,
never.
yeah, I know it's very unlikely. Maybe it'll happen once he loses his mask. Da, da, da. I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Hmm.
I'm, I'm just hoping at this point because I like being a good dramatic.
Hey, here's a wild curveball. Throw Genki in Saipatra.
Yeah, I do just sort of like sticking random people and random units and seeing how it goes. Like, let's put Ishin and Kato in Love and Peace. Let's see what happens.
Oh, that's a big brain idea. Yeah.
Love and Peace and Ishin.
Throw Jiro Shimbashi in Kung Fu Masters. Why not?
Yes. Yeah, I'm like, who else is going to join Kung Fu Masters? That's my idea.
I think a lot of the veterans are, especially the ones who are a little more part time, are probably done with units by this point.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always see someone like Mochi bring back Mochizuki Dojo, but short of forming another veteran unit,
Yeah.
which Paradox is right now, then
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are just kind of done with it. But I do want to see more of the kind of like the lower card guys that have not really done much in a while, like like guys like Takashi and Punch and Mandaryu and Shachi. Put them somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's definitely sort of a situation where it's like, okay, are you guys just gonna sort of stay unaffiliated for the rest of your conceivable careers, or are you actually going to, have sort of a second wind
Hmm.
with their careers, which wouldn't be a surprise given how Dragon Gate treat veterans. Although it makes me a little bit sad because my favorite Toromon Gen person is Kandi,
Hmm. Yeah.
and he's been wrestling more and more part time recently.
Yeah.
And yeah, that does make me just a little bit sad, even though, I love the Paradox guys, but Kandi was my favorite of like M3K and stuff like that. So
I mean, I feel
yeah.
like he could join them and it wouldn't really change them up that much. I think you could
No.
probably throw a couple guys into Paradox and sort of have like a core group and then, rotate in a few other veterans as needed. Just have them be like associates or like a subgroup or something like that.
The NWO B team of the Paradox.
Oh god, we're gonna have Paradox Black and White and Paradox Wolfpack now.
Yes. Yeah, I sort of been thinking about Paradox lately in sort of the situation where it's like, okay, you're the old man unit. So does that mean just like you guys are one day just gonna be like, we're done, we're disbanding? Or like, is someone actually gonna like turn on them? Is BB Hulk gonna turn again? Like what is like the end to this unit? I imagine it'll stay around for quite a while, but yeah, I am sort of curious as to what happens with it.
I feel like the logical end for that would be Doi finally hugging Dragon Kid and then just
Yes.
beating the crap out of him.
Like, is Doi just gonna do what Doi does?
Yeah.
Which is very likely. I still have hopes for my unit where it's Doi and a bunch of heals, and Doi teaches all the heals how to better heal, but Doi doesn't change at all. Like Doi doesn't turn heel, he's just Doi, but everyone else is a heel, and he's just like telling them like, no, you gotta choke him like this, no, you gotta hit him like this, like you gotta use the
No,
box like
I
this. You
like
gotta
that.
hold it like this. Like, come on, give me my Doi evil
Just
mentor unit.
recruit Candy to be like, this is how you hold a
Yes,
box.
yes.
This is how you hit people with it.
It's evil Mochizuki Jojo.
That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. No word yet on Flamita returning.
I assume Shimizu will be 2026, early 2026, because he said he was going to be out for the rest of this year.
I kind of don't see him coming back just straight into vibes unless they, bring him in and turn him heel or something like that. But I don't know if he comes back to that or has a different persona, because that's kind of been his whole MO, is just reinventing himself all the time. Otherwise, Decourage needs more guys. Vibes needs more guys.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Psypatra could use another one or two. I generally think 6 is the sweet spot for most units.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about sort of earlier. I was like, okay, like what's like the perfect number? And I was like 5 to 6. 5 to 6 is sort of, but 6 is sort of my favorite.
Except for like the heal unit being a little bigger.
Yeah, I do
like,
definitely understand.
Like 7,
yeah.
sometimes 8.
Yeah, being like, oh, this unit is bigger because it's the evil group and they always overpower everyone. Or with Paradox, half of them, Doi isn't always there. So sort of technically they're not really as big always. Sometimes it's only 5 members, depending on if Hulk is working or whatever. And with Susumu and Kage being in Okinawa.
Right, yeah, that's right. They're both champions in Ryukyu Dragon. You don't see a lot of, especially with heal units, you don't see a lot of lineup changes in their first 8 to 10 months or so, just because they're establishing themselves as a core group. It will be interesting to see how that evolves, especially heal units usually losing everybody except for the leader, or sometimes, another guy like Kai enduring against all odds. It'll be interesting to see, I guess, probably 2 or 3 years of Gashadokuro and seeing how that changes. This year in particular was kind of a transitional year for a lot of units, and I think once we see kind of a further evolution of what's going to happen to Vibes and Decourage, I think we're going to see a lot of the roster just sort of settle into their roles wherever they land in 2026. Not so much a prediction as just like a vibe I get.
Yeah, I definitely sort of think, this year was sort of a bit of a like a we're making moves, but we're not 100% settling on everything yet. When we were talking earlier about me sort of having some, being unsure about some booking decisions or lack thereof, like me being a bit unsure about like Natural Vibes and what they were up to. But also at the same time, I was sort of like, okay, with Shimizu being out, it's not my favorite thing, but I understand that a lot of the time with units, when they lose someone like that, due to sort of situations they can't really control, the unit will sort of like stay like how they are until, whoever it is comes back. Sort of things will just sort of like grind to a halt.
Yeah, just sort of a holding pattern. Yeah,
a holding pattern, yeah. Whereas like, I'm not really, as much as I wish things would sort of go on without a person, I do understand that a lot of promotions are like, no, we gotta wait until they get back.
All right, well, it is like the dead middle of the night for me, so so I think it would be a good time to wrap it up. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on here, and I will make sure I include a link to your Dragongate video. Yeah, otherwise, I'll see you on Blue Sky, because every once in a while I'll get like 10 notifications in a row, and I'll be like, oh, Scar found my thread.
It's just me going like,
Yeah.
ooh, comment, like.
I have one more of these coming, and then I'll get back into some more video-based content. I am working on disbanded videos for early era Dragongate, and then once I'm done with those, I'm going all the way back to Toryumon.